Hi, the group by the window. I'm going to start with Allie's feedback here since she requested some extra. I'm going to use the same workshop procedures as last class, and I'm trying a new screen recorder that seems like it might be quicker to upload to wikis. So hopefully it works. I just failed with one. So all right, looking at Allie's resume, I scanned it and I saw pretty much the same keywords as you, but I sort of tried to do a little bit more, skipping around beyond some of the headings. Headings are good, so I look at the main headings. These aren't necessary, but education, I think I like the mixing of skills and work experience. Affiliations um, is fine, and you have some impressive ones there. The headings help you skip around because you have subheadings. You have blue main headings and dark or black all caps subheadings. The GPA stands out because you want it to. Then it's a matter of, whatever else you want to stand out will come from um, like a revision of the skills and work experience section. When, one, it's great. You got a lot going on here, but you could probably narrow it down to 4 bullet points either by, combining a couple or just cutting one. Like, for instance, you can probably cut successfully balanced student workload with teaching workload because that's implied. Um, but the main decision factor for you should be to help us focus on what core skills you want us to see in each of those. And that means just being more selective, right? So if you want us to understand that you have basically teaching experience or are teaching people to be problem solvers, or that you really have done some high level collaborations for your age, then really, each of these each of these work experience should just hone in on 2 or 3 of those. So that means probably you might only want to have 3 points under each work experience. Then some of those will just jump out to the scanner, and you'll be addressing the deep reader's needs of just finding um, the skills and qualifications you have here, and they're relevant to the job posting and to your audience and purpose analysis. So it's a creative constraint, but I would try to cut those down to 3 or 4 at the most, which raises a larger concern or challenge, I guess, of maybe getting the whole thing down to 1 page. I'll talk about in a second, but probably 1 page is gonna work, I think. Um, so is off to a really great start. The education section is impressive. I'm not sure, if we're working on cutting back a little bit, I'm not sure you need the completed coursework section, um, but that's up to you. You could always, um, yeah, I don't know. I think you might want them. I think you have to decide on that. I'm not going to make that decision for you. It's fine, but not necessarily necessary. Um, you have like the GPA in a weird spot. Like the GPA might just go right to the top line because you also Wayne State Green Academic Scholarship recipient, then GPA, then Alvin and Harriet Saperstein Emerging Scholars Award endowed scholarship recipient, and move the GPA up to right beside your major. Okay, is great. If this ends up being 1 page, you're gonna end up with some passive white space, or just not a horrible bit of white space, but on the bottom right of the page, because these are all kind of shorter bullet points, which is nice. Um, let's just try to go for 3 each. You could probably merge served as editor in chief and organized meetings with individual students in one line for your Husky newspaper credentials. Um, and therefore, you might be able to have just 2 columns for your bullet points under your affiliations. There's also like sort of a strange balance between the first one, which is like a really long sentence, and then pretty tight bullet points under the second two. You should maybe try to just make 2 bullet points for each and keep them fairly tight. My concerns. The challenge is to see if you can get it under one, or if you want to spread it out to 2. There's a giant white space here above between your name and objective. You could make your name a little bit smaller, though I like the size it is right now. It wouldn't hurt too much if you made it a tiny bit smaller. In terms of editing, if you look here, you got actively learning, completed coursework. Those are parallel, and then you should have, if you're going to keep these here, received or awarded Wayne State and awarded Alvin and Harriet, right? To keep the parallel structure going. You seem to understand that in most other sections. Although here you got directed, assisted, collaborated, evaluated, and then successfully balanced. This is a throwaway one anyway, I think. It should just say balanced. Okay. So working on some concision as you edit and the parallel structure and verb style. All right. And now, so if you are revising your skills and work experience section so that we have keywords there that you want to stand out to represent technical skills, supporting abilities, and favorable personal qualities, and you say that was your goal or that was your strategy, the attendance strategy or the second part of your reader-centered strategy should be that you have a paragraph that goes into more detail about how several of those skills line up with the work you're going to be doing. Right now you have 4 paragraphs, which basically start with I. If you count the third one has a little qualification here before you say I. And so they're pretty writer-centered. Why not launch into the reader-centered strategy for the first paragraph? This is the example we'll see next class anyway, where you detail the job, what you respect about the people there or the work they're doing, the actual work they're doing, in 1, 2, 3 sentences at the most that are about them and sort of how you read about them, how you came to learn about them, how you understand them as readers. And then you can have this, you can segue right into, therefore I'm writing you in regard to your open position, where I see it as a great chance to take what I have learned and apply it to your work, which you've just described, right? And then you could say that is your reader-centered strategy. And you describe your personal strategies as you kind of are on the wiki, as trying to build ethos in your experience by representing your experience here. I would maybe try to say that you established sound reasoning at the end of the second paragraph by proving it. You say, working in these settings helped me form a solid educational foundation and passion for science. And you might say, comma, something like, which carried over into my high-standing GPA and several awards for my recent schoolwork, right? Proof. Okay, there's your feedback. Hope that helps.